What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? It is Tuesday morning. The market's dumping yet again. We're trying to find that low price. We even have an update, I think, as I'm looking around from Greenpeace, who's saying positive things, which to me seems to be a little bit surprising, but I don't follow him, so I don't know what it all means. I'm going to show it to you, and you can decide for yourself what you think of. And by the way, even if you're like me and you're not really a fan of Greenpeace, nothing bad. So make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Let's talk about what's going on right now as this market tanks. All right, so first things first, Ceramic is wrapping up the final code review of the pre-registration DApp, letting USTC holders convert one-to-one to USTR. Testing plus review should take no more than 48 hours. For central exchange users, Ceramic's Tidal Dex Broker bot offers a secure way to take part. Step-by-step guide will be available soon. Centralized exchanges interested in supporting this initiative can reach out to me or Ceramic directly and we'll assist with integration. Everyone has over a month to decide what to do with their USTC. If anyone has a secret plan for USTC, now is the time to speak, because right now it's either Ceramic's plan or no plan at all. And by the way, I think you should understand that the reason that it's Ceramic's plan or no plan at all is because everybody else who's tried to progress this blockchain, and remember, the only function of Terra Luna in the old days, right, was to stabilize the stable coin and then to provide yield through Anchor. Like, it had no other function. So right now, Luna Classic is nothing more than a meme coin in the broader context. The only function that it serves right now is to burn. It supports the blockchain, obviously, but the only purpose right now is a burn. There's nothing to it right now. So it's going to take something different, a paradigm shift, in order to make all of this stuff start to work. So this is as good as anything as an idea, and we'll see what happens here. But it is going to happen, and it's going to happen on another chain. It's going to happen on the BNB chain to make all of this stuff happen, because then you can't have a whole bunch of people like Greenpeace, like Jizzlord, trying to keep this price from increasing. I mean, and look, I don't have any other way. And in fact, as we go through it, I said I'm not critical of Greenpeace because I'm going to show you some of his comments, but you can make what you want of some of them. Let's move on. So here we have Greenpeace Lunk. I took the liberty of just kind of collating here. Here's another wallet-to-wallet transaction that stands out. We'll get into burns, but this one has 51 billion Lunk, and they're moving it from wallet to wallet. It looks like a couple times, and they've burned a significant amount over the last couple of days. One move was 255 million Lunk burned on one transaction. So let's keep going here. They are definitely trying to grab what they can. Maybe dropping Bitcoin to under 100K and Lunk to 4028 will do the trick. Panic sellers have to go. Whoever is left will sell way too early, while my delegators will sit relaxed with some education and coaching by Greenpeace United. Not too late to join us. You won't be able to hold. Okay, so what did you just learn from that? Let me tell you what I just learned from that, okay? It doesn't really matter what the price is, because he's already earning money from his delegator. I just answered your query, your question, your concern. I don't think that he's worried about the price at all. He's just worried about being a delegator and making sure. And by the way, selling on the chart every single month. And I'm not saying that any validator is different, by the way. I'm not saying that this one is better than this one when it comes to selling, but the only way for people to not even make money, but to pay every month to run a validator is to sell Terra Luna Classic. And you have 107 of them right now actively, and everybody has to sell unless they're restaking or doing something different. That's how you get paid. Now, 19 hours ago, how many times are we going to pay Frag for unsanctioned work? Governance requires a request for payment only after specific work is approved by governance. Frag and Juris pretend they do work and then request payment. Here are the last two. We are ignoring governance and just paying the money over and over and over. This response below is perfect. This must end now. So here's the comment. This is for 12/166. And the comment was, okay, so it's a prop to pay someone for unsanctioned work. It was not posted to governance until it was completed and then forced on everyone. It was received as a no with veto. Why should that be paid? The other aspect passed, but that was done on his own accord, as it was once again not brought up pre-creation. That is equal to not being scheduled for work, but staying and saying, I will also come my next day for OT, and the manager says, no, stay home the next shift. Be straight with everyone, get on the same page with the community. Validators need to work together. Devs need to communicate with community that work will be done before it is started, before they randomly post a prop. I mean, there is a fair argument for you to make in this. So, and this goes back into, so again, this is a year ago. Greenpeace is out here digging for stuff a year ago to try to justify why he's stopping progress. Okay. Lack of leadership, lack of clarity, lack of anything right now is what's going on. And, you know, I sympathize with Greenpeace because, you know, from his context here, that this is what he's seeing, this is what's going on, and this is what's happening. And you're asking for funding post fact. So I understand a little bit more, by the way, as I went through this stuff, what Greenpeace is, or at least what his mentality. It's not progress. In no way is it progress on the Terra Luna Classic chain. What I just said was a slight defense of why I understand what he's doing. But at the end of it, all he's doing is stopping progress on the blockchain. That's it. Stopping progress on the blockchain. That is the only function right now he is serving. Okay. Just my opinion. And I'm entitled to my opinion, just like he's entitled to cry about people. So what are we doing? Also, he's mad at people for abstaining from their vote. You know, it's guys, I'm going to let you go look at him. It's at Greenpeace United, something like that. It's at Greenpeace 06_09. Go look and see if you agree with anything that he's saying. If you do, validate with him. If you don't validate. All right. Diamond Hands passed it. Validators who care about this blockchain, Mr. Diamond Hands is one of those guys. Speaking of Mr. Diamond Hands, let's talk about WISO real quick, because very soon, this is not really, I don't know if, I mean, look, there's a conversation to be had here. WISO Energy is coming. This is the WISO Energy drink. We're going to be talking about this going forward and into the future. I did speak to them, so maybe we're even going to test some of it when we do a little bit of gym content and stuff like that going into the future. So look for WISO Energy to be announced and coming to you sometime very, very soon. Now, make sure you're signed up at terracasino.io, because that's where you're going to go for risk-based gaming. Chicago Bears won a crazy, crazy game last night, or on Sunday night. Monday night, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys 27-17. If you had money on that game, you would have won. So, guys, you should check this. Terraport.finance for all of your meme coin and utility coins in this ecosystem, because people like RexYZ, they build in this ecosystem. They don't just sit as a validator and cry and sell off on you. They're actually contributing to burns. And I guess, you know, to ask yourself, how much did Greenpeace burn? I mean, if the only function here is to burn and minimize, I'm sure that when we get over here, we're going to find them, right? Dex's Terraport still dominant over here. Garuda DeFi still big. TerraSwap big. And WISO still sitting at number 4. Otherwise, not a whole lot of trade activity happening, right? And a testament to that is going to be when we get to the charts, what's going on. Now, the news is picking up on the big burn here. Starting off November hot with a $1.1 billion token burn, or a 1.1 billion token burn. So with 655 million tokens destroyed by Binance, that was one of their biggest ones in the last couple of months, by the way. Somebody took inspiration to match this and blasted 481 million into oblivion. This has reduced the circulating supply to 5.9 trillion. Not huge, by the way, but it's the initial 6.48 trillion that now shows us that we've burned over a trillion. So, you know, we can celebrate having a trillion burned, or very close to a trillion burned total overall. It's a very nice thing. It's great to see something like this happen in spite of the supply reduction. Market value failed to respond to the events. I told you, by the way, burns are no longer a thing here. It's going to be nice to see it burn down, but it's not going to happen. The market maker is what's going to matter. Ambitious Luna Classic price goal met with skepticism. On top of that, the community members seem to be conflicted about the price implications of LUNC, with the community-driven market module roadmap suggesting very ambitious restoration targets with the ultimate $1 goal. On the other hand, these price projections get constantly roasted by loyal Luna Classic community members. We can't even lose 2 zeros. You think it's even logical to pretend that 4 months. Okay. And by the way, that is there's a fair assessment of what's going on. As of publication, this is the number 290 coin in all of crypto. it was at 39.55. Let's go look at where it is right now. Before that, let's move over here. Check out anything going on, nothing going on. Validators will skip for today and worry about later. We're going to go to price right now. Currently sitting right now at 38.35, only down 1.5%, while the rest of the market is really starting. Now, we're down 99, almost $100 billion on the day after $100 and something billion dump yesterday. As we lean into this, Bitcoin down to 103,000. We're starting to see cracks in crypto. We've touched down at the 50 MA, a healthy spot. Once we got there previously at 3.3 trillion, just a couple of short weeks ago, about a month ago, we bounced back up into almost 4 trillion territory. So there's probably going to be a significant bounce. We've seen this before. This has played out, by the way, over and over and over again. And then it came down right here, even wicking below before breaking back out. This is on the weekly. So what we're looking at right now largely is the same thing that we've looked at multiple times overall. We've seen breakdowns to the 50, and then a big bounce. A breakdown to the 50, a big bounce. Breakdown to the 50. Are we going to get a big bounce? Well, let's take the one thing that really matters the most, and that is global money supply. And let's apply global money supply to this scenario, and let's look at where we are. And it looks like to me that we just went through this big dump, right? We're playing it out right there. By the way, big move up here. We got that big move. We got this massive dump. Then we got the secondary test, and we got a bigger dump, which the dump does not appear to be completed yet. But we're at the time frame where global capital surges in markets. So now the question is, will that apply to crypto? I don't know that it will, but okay. Right now, here's where we need to look. And this is where it's going to get interesting and scary. All right. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to drop this off. We're going to zoom back in. We've broken the 50 MA for 24 hours. Okay. This market is catastrophically dumping. Now, previously, we've done that before. That was back in April when we were just done, when this market was cooked, the market was over, blah, 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 blah. Then we went so much higher. Now, let's take a moment here and let's recognize what just happened, because we did this before. Right there, right here, that's a bit of a bearish divergence. So a betting man would say that maybe this market is cooked and maybe it's over. It doesn't mean that Terra Luna Classic won't run, but it means that no altcoins really got any kind of, like nothing really happened. Now, have to ask yourself, why is that the case? And it's very, very simple. The Clarity Act in the United States. American investors are not jumping in. Retail investors have been scalped and destroyed and annihilated by this market as institutional inflows, market makers, and venture capital have stolen all of their money. I mean, we're not supposed to say stolen their money. We're supposed to say invested appropriately versus everybody else, right? We can't say that. So the market's in trouble. It should probably recover from that trouble. I don't think that long problem. We're going to have a swift and rapid recovery, in my opinion, but I don't know. I don't know. It looks bad. So we do have to, look, if I'm the moon boy and I'm the guy that's just telling you we're going to go up, don't worry about the noise, then that would be a disservice to you. So I'm telling you, should be concerned. But I'm also going to tell you that I think that we're going to recover and we're going to have another blow off. Money supply shows me that it's going to happen. So I'm not nervous, but I'm nervous. And I'm nervous because the market cycles tend to ice out people, and some people have already decided that the bull run is over, and it's old veterans who like the 4-year cycle, and they like to jockey that. So there could be a problem here. There could be a real distinct problem. Hopefully we're going to see something good happen, but I don't know. 16 million in trade volume over the last 24 hours. So we're up just a little bit in trade volume, up 100% on USTC. But I mean, again, it's not resulting in price action, it's just resulting in trading. Again, pretty little update over here. 1.3 billion is what we've burned so far. And then we look at it, we had the big burn from Binance. Then we had a big burn from Wallet moving twice. Now we've got another one for 233 million today, which means that the burns are going to go up and accelerate even more. Now, again, it's just the transfer of funds, so I don't think that it's a big deal. But we have to acknowledge that the unfortunate part is that is the only thing we got to do more. We need something to happen in the markets everywhere. If it does, we'll have a nice big recovery. If it doesn't, we're cooked. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's not financial advice. Always right.